I'd just like to welcome you all to our first Jadu Academy of 2016 here in very sunny Birmingham at the moment, if not a bit chilly. For those of you that maybe haven't had the opportunity to meet some of the Jadu team, we've just stuck some photos up here in case you don't recognise people. Some of them might look a little bit different than in real life. So if I can just ask the Jadugas to quickly stand up, just so you can locate us all. We're all wearing these rather fetching Jadu t-shirts today. So just as a way of quick introductions, we've got Gabby and Rebecca from the Spacecraft PM team, Matt Dolan, Jadu engineer, Lucia, who's working closely with customer relationships, across the top there. Across the bottom, we've got the Jadu product owners. So we've got Paul Stanton for the Pulsar UI, Sarah Backhouse for the CMS, Tom Nichols for CXM, and Andy Green for XFP. And then across the middle, we've got Jasleen there, who's our digital marketing executive. We've also got Richard Friend, hovering at the back there, global business director, followed by David and Tommy from our support team. Okay, and then myself, of course, Andy Perkins, Director of Engineering for Jadu. Not familiar with doing Keynote presentations, by the way, so apologies if this is a bit rough around the edges. Just a very quick game of spot your logo. Hopefully I haven't missed anyone in the room in terms of from our UK local authority customer base. As you can see, our family is ever growing with our customers and partners. These folks are probably not in the room, but these are a few of our recent customers who have joined from Australia in the local authority space as well. So some of you may be familiar with James Robinson or Sarah Lemon. You might have worked with them in the past. They emigrated out there around about a year and a half ago. And since then, they've won now 6 local authority customers across Australia, and that's ever growing as well. In terms of customers in other industries, in particular here, higher education. I believe we've got a couple from the University of Leeds, for example, in the room today. But again, spanning into other industry sectors, as well as some of our commercial, central government, and not-for-profit customers. Again, I believe we've got a few representatives from a few of these organisations in the room today. So we are spanning quite a few industry sectors today. I'd also just like to welcome some of our technology partners who are amongst us. We have Go Cardless, who provide solutions for the collection of direct debit details. Cloud Call, who provide integrated cloud-based telephony solutions. Pebble Code, who are a development partner who offer custom software engineering such as mobile and native applications, as well as Lexmark and Kofax, who, believe it or not, offer far more than just printers and scanners. Their enterprise software arm provide document imaging, storage, workflow, capture, process management, electronic signature, search, all sorts of different enterprise applications that we've integrated with there as well. So to kick things off and just recap on some of the recent changes at Jadu. You will have noticed more recently our branding has changed, as you can see from these fetching shirts. Spacecraft has become its own entity. In a nutshell though, nothing changes for our customers. Jadu is just now a group of companies. This is more so that we can scale out globally, as you've seen from our slide on the different partners that we have, and so that we can offer professional services such as our content consultancy and our design services beyond the scope of just our Jadu organisations or customers. Spacecraft is run by Matt Kulpin, Mike Govia and Rich Backhouse. Matt will probably be floating around a bit later on today if anyone needs to catch up with him. And James Robinson is VP in Australia, John Houston in America, and Suraj in the UK, backed by the teams at our head offices in Leicester, just down the road. So for those that aren't aware of what Jadu Continuum is or what it means for you, Continuum is our commitment to deliver you new releases for our software every 2 weeks, rather than the traditional big bang upgrades that might have been in the past every 6 or 12 months, for example. We've been successful now in just over a year's worth of ongoing releases. Roughly 80-85% of our customers have now moved onto a Continuum version. These are all benefiting now from regular bug fixes and new feature releases that all come as part of these Continuum releases. One of the other major benefits that this brings you, our customers, is in the long run is massive savings in terms of those big upgrade projects and costs. So what has been included in these Continuum releases to date? Well, as at the 1st of March, when I first started to gather some of these statistics together for you, the broad picture for our CMS in particular was we'd had 29 releases of the CMS. 14 of those contained security fixes, 68 new features, 273 bug fixes, and 33 feature updates. Sadly for me, but great for you, my stats are already out of date as we released the latest Continuum CMS number 29 last Friday. So please make sure you go and check out those release notes when you're back in the office next. And here, in terms of X-Forms Professional, we've had 22 releases, including 4 that contain security fixes, 42 new features, 111 bug fixes, and 29 feature updates. In regards to CXM, we've had 50 CXM releases, which include 1 with a security fix, 223 new features, 175 bug fixes, and 46 feature updates. Now, for those of you that have maybe not been to the Jadu offices in the last few years, I apologise in advance. This reference may be a bit lost on you. But for those of you that have, here are some of the larger new features that you should know have been released since we started Continuum. So we've introduced the new CK editor in place of Xena, brought in the new Pulsar UI framework, added 2-factor authentication for admin login, added a responsive Galaxy site structure, added content translation functionality, central authentication support for front-end login, an accessibility checker, queuing functionality, email alerts on workflow, forced password reset for all of your admin accounts. PayBridge has come pre-installed, a new Jadu CXM form action, calculation-based branching, email alerts per route within forms, additional variable access, form variables embed, and internal-only forms. That's just a quick sample of some of the big new features that have been introduced over that year. So, onto the individual products within the platform. Sarah Backhouse is our product owner for CMS and is here today if you have any specific questions on enhancements coming down the road. But primarily we are focusing on the short term on a few key areas of functionality regarding publishing, audit and workflow capabilities. Also on integrations between your CMS and line of business systems. Ideally we want to allow your customers to self-serve and do business with you through their My Account that comes inside the Jadu CMS, and more on this will become clear a bit later on in our demonstration session. This is what the CMS looks like today for those of you that maybe haven't got around to moving to Continuum just yet. I think we released the new UI around about CMS 24. We would encourage you all to move to the new CK editor within the system, dropping the older Xena editor. CK editor's support for later versions of Internet Explorer is just one good reason why to do so. Send our support team a ticket if you need assistance in making that happen within your implementation. Also, please do consider enabling two-factor authentication on your administrator accounts for your implementation, certainly for those more privileged of your users out there. Our companion mobile app is available on app stores to guide you through that process as well. Andy Green is our product owner for XFP and is here today. If you have any specific questions regarding the roadmap there. We're primarily focusing on the non-technical building and management of your online transactional processes, deeper integrations again to line of business back office systems for related form data and workflows. We all know that online payments are a key driver for business transformation in today's age. PayBridge is now available in your control center as standard for you to have a play with. You just have to have a purchase of a small license to use this in a production context and the application of a relevant payment service provider for whichever payments engine that it is that you use at your organization. New PayBridge adapters are being added all the time and a few more are coming soon, as well as some other features such as embedded forms and in-page branching. This is how the new XFP user interface looks today. Again, you can see how Pulsar has been used to make this a consistent user experience across our different products. That brings us on to CXM. So over the last 15 years or so, we've integrated XFP with most of the well-known back-office traditional CRM systems. We now believe that we can offer a better and more interactive user experience, which brings us to CXM. We would describe CXM as the intersection of instant chat and CRM and case management, providing real-time collaboration on cases and service requests across multiple interested parties. Your customers can discuss with a human being when they are available, but when they're not, they can raise a case as normal, which then enters into service-specific workflows. The vision here is to allow the consolidation of some of the legacy line of business systems that do similar tasks today, or allow interaction with the more modern and irreplaceable line of business systems that you have, providing automated updates and notifications to the customer for those that don't wish to log into their account to be kept up to date. The problem that CXM solves, or how we've depicted it here in terms of the old way versus the new way as we visualized it. Let's say a problem, a complaint or a service request gets raised and gets picked up by a caseworker, but maybe they're not sure what action is necessary in this particular case. It gets referred to a subject matter expert who is maybe not around or located remotely or is from a third-party organisation, for example. So additional correspondence then needs to be sent off. Maybe it's an email, maybe it's a formal letter. Maybe the expert is missing some key information, so needs to get back in touch with the caseworker, who then needs to get back in touch with the customer. Throughout this whole time, and all these correspondence flying to and fro, the customer maybe hasn't been kept up to date, or there's been no worthwhile update because it's literally just been passing information to and from. We hope that with CXM, the same case or request could be routed straight to the relevant expert. I've been doing a lot of work with Americans and Australians lately, so apologies for that slip. They are alerted to this, and that this is now waiting on them. Importantly, they have a single view of the case, so there are no external communications or documents missing. It's all in one central location. They can collaborate with the decision maker on the case through CXM this whole time, and the customer, importantly, has direct access to that case as well, and so has instant updates. CXM has in part been based around some of our work with the Ministry of Justice on the Employment Tribunal service we delivered a few years back now. Here we can see an example cases dashboard. Again, a very familiar user interface for our Pulsar framework. At this point, the observant of you in the room might actually spot that you've all actually been using a baked down version of CXM over the last couple of months, because it's effectively what we now use for our support all system. Because we like to eat our own dog food at Jadu effectively. So yeah, you've all been using it. Here we just have a quick example of a case timeline and its different interactions or touch points with people as it progresses through to completion. So just moving on now, we're going to talk a bit about the Jadu My Account, which is the main crux of the keynote today, and how this can effectively be used to deliver a citizen portal solution. Now, Kettering, is anyone from Kettering in the room today? Nope. Have been using Jadu's original My Account functionality since it was first developed, probably around about 11 years ago now. They are currently on a pre-continuum version of the CMS, but do have a few other modules included, such as XFP and e-payments. They currently have around about 58,000 registered users. There's a population of around about 93,000 in the borough, across about 43,000 households. So that's a large proportion of the overall population, probably about 60–65%. They're actually registered with accounts on the Kettering site. So I've just got a quick movie here of what this looks like. So we sign into our account here as myself. You'll notice across the top there it says, "Hello, Mr. Andy Perkins," and I can go through into my account. I've then got various different bits of functionality here, so my job applications, a listing of my online forms. I can check my balances, so I enter my reference number here. I'm told my current outstanding balance because I've not paid all my bills, and then go through to make a payment. It's pre-filled my reference number, and I can enter the amount to pay. I then add that to my shopping cart of services, so I can pay for multiple items in a single transaction, and then continue on with my payment, which would go through the relevant payment service provider. Now, the My Account or Citizen Portal concept is still commonplace across local authorities today. Recent go-lives, such as this beautiful new site for Norwich City Council, provide similar capabilities and functionality to that of Kettering. You can check your account balances, you can pick up your forms from where you left off, all from this central end-user account dashboard effectively. Now, what is the difference here under this continuum version, though, against what Kettering have, is that this is all powered by home pages and widgets. Whereas what you saw in the Kettering example was a separate template for user accounts effectively. So you now have full control within your CMS to add widgets over time and enrich it with further functionality through this dashboard interface as you see fit.
With the launch of Norwich City Council's new website, Norwich are placing emphasis on the My Account functionality available within Jadu Continuum, which through a homepage dashboard draws data from back-office systems, providing residents with a view of their online forms, balances, payments, and any other service requests made on any device. Content can also be personalised as the dashboard is built by you with widgets, meaning you can surface more content, keeping things current. My Account personalised data and dashboard with Jadu Continuum.
Now, there are companies out there that sell citizen portal type solutions. that you might be tempted to consider bolting onto your CMS or to your website. However, we would urge you to first leverage your investment in your Jadu CMS and its existing account functionality, maybe extending it to build out widgets that can surface data from your back office systems instead, as we just saw in the Norwich example there. Problems with service area specific citizen portal solutions that we think a visualization might assist with. Individual service areas can get very excited by specific point solutions for their own transformational needs. This is understandable as it's their area of expertise and they see a system that ticks a lot of their operational boxes. These solutions may well work very well for their service area, but behind the scenes they will likely be limited to only work across one or two service areas and their related back office systems. Your customers, however, see across your entire organization. They do this through your one common system that you use to provide content about all of your service areas. That is your website. Your Jadu CMS powered website, this transcends all service areas already within your organizations. 1 minute as a customer is looking at content provided by department or service area A, in this case Rebs and Bens. Then sometime later they want to transact with the organization again. They don't care if it's a different service area or department, they just see you through your website. They don't care if you've got a different department, service area or back office system that holds that data. They expect a consistent user experience and accurate data that they just see across the one organization. So, as well as your website content powered by your web CMS, web forms and payments will span across these different service areas as well and require different back office system integrations, possible within XFP via form actions and integrated components. Where you have a CRM that tracks progress of customer service requests or cases, this should be brought into the overall scope of their My Account as well, so that they see one place of all of these interactions. In effect, the My Account should be the single view of your organization for that customer in terms of all of their interactions. Much like how you have strived to have the single view of the customer record within your CRM, they want a single view of your organization through their My Account. When your My Account sits within your website, service by service area phasing can occur. So here we've introduced Revs and Bens into the My Account, for example, but we've left out housing, environment and planning, etc., which can be brought in over time by adding on new integrations and new widgets into that dashboard. So in a phased and agile, iterative manner. Whilst a Jadu My Account dashboard with various integrated widgets aggregating data into a single consolidated dashboard is one option that you can then employ, you can also go a step further and think about deploying context-specific widgets throughout service area-specific content. So, for example, if I'm looking at content about council tax and I'm already signed into my account, then why not show me my account balance on that council tax page? It all becomes possible when you use the website as your account that the Jadu CMS offers. You might also consider how an investment into a good back office document repository and related document capture technologies, which is ideally utilized by service area specific back office systems, could help in this scenario as well. For instance, integration then with just the EDRMS in this case could be used to surface this back office data without doing individual point integrations. But we can come back to this concept a bit later on in the demonstration. In terms of this overall vision, at least a few of you in the room today are in the process of moving away from some of the types of problems we've outlined here with these siloed applications, such as your suite of Agilicis or FirmStep portal products, moving to Jadu My Account, Xforms Professional and CXM combination. Some of you are now wanting to break down the traditional back office CRM models and seeing the potential that customers interacting with you via CXM could offer, such as improvements to your business processes, responsiveness, service delivery, and most importantly, the customer's overall experience of interacting with you. If you want to grab Richard Friend or I a bit later on today, we can point you towards some of your peers in the room today so that you can talk openly amongst yourselves about your experiences of using some of these applications in case you're currently thinking of moving to those anytime soon.